Okay, we're up to really the second part of the Masechta, the part that you perceive as Rosh Hashanah. We're going to be discussing Rosh Hashanah, and actually, there's more than one Rosh Hashanah. There's four, as we're going to see. But the Tesayin Amar Aleph Bez Hashem. This is a very famous daf, well-known daf, full of a lot of interesting things. Says the Gemara, Tesayin Amar Aleph. Ba'arba prokim oilam nidun, and 4 times a year the world is judged. Right? The Pesach al hatfua. On Pesach, they're judged on the four. Again, the Gemara is going to describe all this. You notice Rashi says in Farish Gemara. That means you can just go through the Mishnah. Okay. But Seres al Peres Ilan. On Atzeres and Shavuos on the Peres Ilan. The Rosh Hashanah, Kalbay Oilam Oivim Lefan of Kadei Maroin, all pierced in front of the Kadosh Baruch Hu like sheep. Shnemar Hayoser Yachad Libam. Those who are Yoser, who don't inform them, Yachad Libam, that's together. And maybe it's called Masehem. The Kodesh Baruch Hu sees all the actions. And on Sukkot Nidunum Alamayim. So Pesach's Tfuah, Atzeres is Shavuos, Rosh Hashanah is Din, and Sukkot is Mayim. Okay. Hi Tfuah, what Tfuah? Speak about the Tfuah. What do you mean the Tfuah? Ilema Tfuah, the Kaima, right? But the Tfuah that what will be, right? That's the one that's there right now. That you're davening for the one that's there now. Called Hani the Harpiki, the Odu Allah Emas. Isyadin, everything that happened before this time, what are you going to say? If you went ahead, there's a lot of things that occurred before this that passed by. What are you going to say about those? Ella, tfuah the mizdaris, you're going to say it's tfuah that will come, that will grow. Remember the chadin and misnada, you mean that it's only one din, but Tanya, tfuah shira bakeri, oinus, keri here means like mikra happening, oinus, but that's bidei adam. Kaidim pesach nidunim l'shavar. They happen before Pesach, it's judged. The Sha'avar, La'acha Pesach, if it's what's happening after Pesach, the Dunyan Laba. So you see there's two separate cases, two separate court cases. Right? Rashi says, Nidunyan Sha'avar, Koidim Shenisra, the Hainu Pesach Shalish Takit. Before you plant, that's the Pesach of next year. And Nidun Sha'avar, Yom Kippur Shalish Takin Nigzor. That was guys up from Yom Kippur before. Adam Shir ba Keria Oinus Koidin Yom Kippur Nidun L'Shavar Lach Yom Kippur Nidun Laba. So Amarav Shmamino Tati Dinim Misnada. You have two separate dinim. Rashi explains. You have one right before you plant and one before you cut. One before you plant and one before you cut. Amar Bayis says Abai Hilkach. Kichazi Inish Tematzlach Zara Apala. Person sees that his early grain is what is matzliach. So obviously the Gezar Din was positive. But lakdim lizora charfa. Go ahead and chaparayim, right? Because you have a good mazel. The adamati lemedina kardam masala. Before you get to the next court case, then you never know what's going to be there. So once the sun is shining upon you, go for it. Taisus brings a fascinating incident. The top Taisus, we had this mice and brachas where this guy had a fight with his wife. He ended up sleeping in the basic forest. Everyone seems to remember that. And he heard two ruchas talking, and he was getting little farmer almanac tips. I want to go ahead and plant that year. So it's a nice Maisa, but if the need is on Pesach, so how in Rosh Hashanah is he finding this stuff out? So he says, Ken Zayin Taisa says, in Shemayim, they know earlier, you only find out Pesach time. He had inside trading. It's the guy had inside trading, right? Yeah. Anyway, now, Moni Mas Nisan, who's the Tan of our Mishnah? Who's the Tan of our Mishnah? Loi Reb Meya, V'loi Reb Yehuda, V'loi Reb Yosi, Loi Reb Nasin. Again, we said 4 times a year you're judged. For Pesach, you're judged on Tfuah, on trees, and on Rosh Hashanah on Din, and Chag on water. So now we're going to see 4 shittas, and it's not going to be any one of them. It's going to end up, we're going to have a 5th shitta, the Tana Debei Rishmael. That's going to be the Tana of our Mishnah. Now, why is that? The Tanya, Hakol Nidun Rosh Hashanah, because the Tanya, Hakol Nidun Rosh Hashanah, everything is judged on Rosh Hashanah, because Nechnam Yom Kippur, and the Gezadin is Nechnam Yom Kippur. So all judgments are Rosh Hashanah, and Nechnam is on the Remei. In other words, Tfuah, water, trees, everything's on Rosh Hashanah. Can't be the time of our Mishnah, because according to him, there's only one Rosh Hashanah, right? But good, can't be Remei. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Hakol Nidunim b'Rosh Hashanah, Ugzadin Shalahem Nechnam Kol Echav V'Echav B'Smanai. Pesach al Tfuah, Be'etzeres al Peres Elon, B'Chag Nidim al Amayim, V'Adam Nidim Rosh Hashanah. Okay, because Din Shalahem Nechnam B'Yom Kippur. So again, according to Reb Nassim, according to Rabbi Yehuda, everything is judged in Rosh Hashanah, and the Gezar Din was Chaysim on Yom Kippur. He can't be the Tana of Mishnah. Tana Mishnah says there are 4 separate judgments. According to him, all the judgments are in Rosh Hashanah. Rabbi Yossi, every single day. Rabbi Yossi says there's judgment every single day. Can't be the Tana of Mishnah. Shneimar b'tifkedenu lebekarim, and Kadosh Baruch Hu remembers by ear. Remember lebekarim each morning he goes ahead b'tifkedenu. Kadosh Baruch Hu is peiker. The Kadosh Baruch Hu remembers him. Reb Nassim says, Adam nitim b'chol shav. A person's judged every hour. Shneimar, the end of the pasuk that says v'tifkedenu lebekarim, it says l'regoyim tifchanenu. For the regoyim, according to minutes, he is tested. Test him. Now, so l'chayra can't be any of these amarayim. Certainly, Rabbi Yossi, certainly not Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Nassim, Rabbi Yossi every hour, Rabbi Nassim every minute. It can't be Rabbi Meir who says everything is right, and it can't be Rabbi Yehuda because Rabbi says all the judgments are on Rosh Hashanah, and each one is Gezar Din on his day, and Chassim. Maybe we should speak about Gezar Din, right? Kasha Adam, Adam, because the Adam wasn't included. So Amarava, you're right. Hi Tana the Rabbi Shmuel. Who's the Tana Mishnah? It's the Tana Rabbi Shmuel. The Tana Rabbi Shmuel. Ba'aba Prokim Oilam Nidan. The Pesach Latfua. Biat Seres Al Pevis. Elon. The Chag Nidan Al Mayim. Adam Nidan Rosh Hashanah. Because I didn't Shaloi Nechdam B'Yom Kippur. The Chikatani Mas Nisan. Aschalta Din. And the Mishnah is speaking at the beginning of the Din. So Mamish, this is exactly what we said. My time of Rabbi Yossi, right? What's the reason of Rabbi Yossi that you judged every day? I mean, what's the kasha? Could go on my timer, like you just said. But tifkedan lebekarim, you put a pasuk from me, right? That you remembered in the mornings. It says no, come here. This is my problem. My time Reb Nassim. Why didn't you agree with Reb Nassim who said every hour? Because the end of the pasuk says what? It says that we're going tifchadenu. So the Gemara answers no, it can't be. Bechina iyuni ba'almahu. When it says bechina, it only means to look into. It doesn't mean a judgment. So Fred the Gemara, if you're telling me that the word Bechina only means a judgment, so Pekida Nami, but Tifkedenu Bakarim, the word Pekida also to remember also doesn't say judgment. HaKadosh Baruch Hu remembers him, it's not a judgment. So Iyuni Ba'almahu, it's only beyond. So therefore you don't have a source now for Rabbi Yossi's din. Where do you know a person is judged every single morning? Elam Rav Chisda, time of Rabbi Yossi Mihacha. Lasois Mishpat Avdoi Umishpat Amo Yisrael. Every single day. A bunch of things are Chisda. Melech v'tzibar, where we had this earlier. Melech v'tzibar to be judged. Melech nichlas tchil, the king goes first. Ledin shneimar lasais mishpat avdai mishpat am Yisrael. So first avdai is the king, and then what? Then the rest of the nation. My time first. Ibay sema lavurcha ara lemesiv malka. Boy, it's not that they're cheretz to make the malka wait outside. Ibay sema bikame delefish charoin af. Before Kadosh Baruch Hu's anger gets more and more and more, the king gets a judgment, so he won't get what? He won't get so. It's very funny because Baruch gets angry because Baruch is affected by other court cases. Okay, so we just leave it at that. Okay, Amar Rabbi Yossi, Kaman Matzlin on Ha'idna. Who do we go ahead and daven today? Aketsiri, on people who are physically sick. Amari, and on the Talmidei Chachamim, the Gemara says in the Nedarim Mem Tes, who Torah Mates is Kaichel Shaladam. Who we davening for? Come on, Rabbi Yossi. Every single day we daven for people who are sick, like Rabbi Yossi. It's a yafat tzaka to a person whether before Gzan or even after Gzadin helps. Okay, famous Taisus. Let's see a Taisus. Kaman maslin on idna aktsiri on the sick people. Mamari Kareb Yosi. Now, mashma like the other Manda Omrim, it doesn't help to feel it. Then Toimar the Rabbanon Nami. Like as Rabbanon here means who? Rabbanon here means everybody else. Everybody else, right? Right? Everybody else. Mi loy matzlina on Rafeinu. Don't we daven Rafeinu, guys? If there's a Gezar Din, if the Gezar Din happened on Yom Kippur, what does it help tefillah for? Uberchas Hashanim, right? What are you doing for davening for rain? Why would it help if already the Gezar Din was on Sukkot, right? So l'chayra, why would it help? It's a very, very strong question, right? It's a bamba kashlik. Why would it help? Bishleim let Rabbi Yossi that a person is judged even every day. So every tefillah can help each and every day. But according to Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Yehuda, who said that what this needing happens at a different period of time, what's it going to help? V'oid, Rabbi Yehuda, who said over here that a person that each and every time because Zaydin was on the Nidim was on Rosh Hashanah, the Amar Hacha Adam Nidim Rosh Hashanah because Zaydin Shaloi Nechna B'Yom Kippur. Amar Rabbi Yehuda says in Shabbos that hanichnas levakar achayla, a person who goes to mevakar achayla, omer hamakim yirachim alecha. HaKadosh Baruch Hu Rachmanas on you, V'alcholi Am Yisrael, and the rest of the people. So the Chayr, why would it help? If you had a Gezar Din, why would the Tefillah help? So Rabbi Yehuda himself, who said it, so you have a kasha, like a male, like a bonan. So what's it helping? It's and it's a good kasha universally. It's a good question just to ask Tamazai, right? How does Tefillah help? If it's been decreed, so it shall be. Well, it's not going to help. To not get sick, you don't daven. El Rabbi Yossi, only according to Rabbi Yossi. But to get better, matzlinan aliba de kuli alma. Even the Rabbanan would go ahead and say you can daven for a person to get better. Why? The mata yachlu will get sick. Nigzar. Mata yisrapu loy nigzar. So what was decided on Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, because I didn't that you'll get sick, but when you get better, it doesn't. So therefore, you can daven refeinu. We didn't explain Birchas Hashanah yet, but he's saying this is what he's saying. That this din, that you can't daven a person shouldn't get sick. Why? Because it's been decreed already before that a person will get sick. But it doesn't say you won't get better, that you could daven for. Okay, now just skip down. For Oidei Shleimar, the tefillah the Rabbim shiny, the tefillah of a Rabbim refeinu, right, is different. The Gzar Dinam Nikra, because Gzar Din on a Rabbim, even though it was decreed, could be ripped up. Kid'll come on, as we'll see later on. What about Rabbi Yehuda, who, right? He daven. He the Shabbos Rabbi Yehuda Nami Yeshli Yashet, that he came in and said that he would come in and he would say Hamakim Rachim Alecha Choyle Ama Yisrael Ki Agavna the Dami LeRabbim the Havili Matzli Behedei Kol Cholim. He said you should get better, and he included the Rabbim Ama Yisrael. So Taisus gives two truths. One, even though there's been a Gezar Din for the sickness, it wasn't a Gezar Din on the refuah. Well, secondly, for the tefillah for the rabbim is very powerful, and therefore it could help even for the individual as you include a mat in the rabbim. Okay.
So many years, I saw somewhere that also how bad the sickness is. That means the brain could either
mitigate it.
Or mitigate or the duration of the sickness, which is getting better.
Yeah. Okay, so this would be very this Taisus is important Taisus. It's important Taisus. There's a packed daf. I'm Rav Yehuda. Mishum Rebbe Kiv. They Ma'am Torah view Oimer bePesach. They should Pesach Zman Tfua. Who? Amakadosh Baruch Hu review lefani Oimer bePesach. They should disbarach lechem Tfua. Shebesades. Bring the Oimer on Pesach in order that the Tfua should be gebenched in the fields. What's the reason the Torah review Shtei Lechem Bet Seres? Why are you going ahead and being Shtei Lechem Bet Seres? We're on Tes Zayin Amud Aleph, about 8 lines up. Why you should be Shtei Lechem Bet Seres? We have to answer, guys. That's from wheat. Wheat's not a tree. Go ahead and gis mayim on the chag. Why go ahead and pour mayim on the chag? Yeah, we're gonna get to that. Okay, so now, guys, it's very good that there's a Ran that says that it's not pshat that they knew the din and they figured it out about Pesach, Chag, and etc. Since Pesach, Chag, and etc., you do these things, they work backwards. Why are you bringing the Omer? Must be there's a din on the Tfuah of Pesach. Why are you bringing the Shtei Lechem? Must be Peres Elon goes in Shvuas. Why are you pouring water on Chag? Must be you need it on the Chag. So it works. It's not pshat. Since there's a need and that happens, it works backwards. We know there's mitzvahs. The Torah gives us mitzvahs. We work backwards. Since those mitzvahs are, it says the Ran, are in existence, it must be why, because this is a nice last soisvat for these particular things. It's a geshmak pshat. Now, if you look at Rashi's, again, here's the kasha. How in the world do you get from chita, the wheat, on Shvuas, that is in the Shtei Lechem, which is one of only 2 places you bring chametz, how do you get that to be a tree? Right, so look at Rashi. Rashi has 2 pshatim. Shtei Lechem yiratzu al peres elon shehem matirin lehevi bikurim. You can't bring bikurim, fellas, until you bring the Shtei Lechem. Shehem mevim bikurim koydem matzeres chsiv bikur k'tzir chitim. So that's a very good pshat. In other words, it's not the Shtei Lechem, it's material. It's not the ingredients, right? It was Yehuda's there. It's not the ingredients of the of the shtei lechem that makes it gebunded in the peiris. It's the fact that the shtei lechem allows you to bring the peiris, and the pekurim, of course, are brought back from the 7 min of Eretz Yisrael, predominantly which are trees. Good, that's one teretz. Second teretz, v'nishamati, Rabbi Yehuda l'taimei. Rabbi Yehuda goes according to this reasoning. There are us l'kiman the Amar b'Sanhedrin eitz she'achal ad marishayin chita hoisa. This machlok is exactly what the Eitz Hadas was. Was it an esuk tree? Was it a fig tree? Was it a vine? Or there's an opinion it was a chita. Good. So if it was a chita, so Rabbi Yehuda goes to Tamei and he says that the chita it matters the tree. Now how does that explain it? How does it explain it? Right. So it's mavur. I don't remember where I saw it. If you tell me the Eitz Hadas is chita, that means you're calling it an eitz, right? Mm-hmm. He says, he said, before the chait, there was no such thing as processing food. Chita is the ultimate thing that needs processing, right? In order, you have to go ahead and go through the whole, CSA you have to go through the whole thing, right? You had Entenmann's donuts on trees. The chita was there. In other words, Frank Hatch. No, it was Frank Swatch's donuts. Other would have eaten it. If it was Frank Hatch's donuts, other would have eaten it. They would have grown stale. So it's over. They're big stale. Anyway, so that would be a great shot. The chita inochanami koydem was edible. Like it was edible. It was a eitz. That they have to process food. That changes. That would be pshat. The Hezbollah and Rashi. I have to see where I saw it from. I have it written down somewhere, but I don't know where. Okay. A Gemara that everybody knows. Say in front of me on Rosh Hashanah, Malchuyos, Melech, Sechroinos, right? You should make me the melech over them. Zechroinos kadesh yalez zechroinechem lefanai letoiva ubema b'shayfa. Amra avua lama toikim b'shayfa shel ayel. Why do you blow with the shayfa of an ayel? Amar kadosh baruch hu tikul lefanai b'shayfa shel ayel kadesh eskel lechem akedas Yitzchak ben Avraham. I should remember the akedah of Yitzchak ben Avraham. Interesting, not Yitzchak ben Avraham, because we have the schus of Avramos in the akedah. The one that not only that Yitzchak who was tied up, but the one who tied him up. It's also right. As if you tie yourself up, right? So therefore, the funai. Amar Yitzchak lama taikin b'Rosh Hashanah. What do you mean lama taikin? Lama taikin. Rachman lama taikin. Torah says you go ahead. Lama Marian. Why do you do truas? Marian Rachman lama sechon trua. Torah says it's different trua. Lama taikin Marian kashen Yoshem. Why do you do it? Yoshem means before Shmon. This is a Shmon Esrei. They meet in Shmon Esrei. Why do we blow before while sitting, mean before Musaf? Why do we blow before Musaf? I'm at base. The toikin Marian kashen. Then we do it again. We repeat it when you're standing. In order to go ahead and be ma'arav the sudden, says Rashi, Kedei la'arav shlo yastin, that he shouldn't go ahead and shepa. Yishma Yisrael mechad benes hamitzvos nistamim devarav. When he hears bnei Yisrael that the mechad benes mitzvos, immediately goes ahead and it shuts his mouth, so it's quiet. That's Rashi. Let's see Taisvis. Kedei la'arav esa satin pirish ba'aruch. This is what you guys know. Kedisa b'Yushalmi. Bila hamavos lenetzach. The time that netzach will be swallowed up. You talk about shayfa gadol. So in other words, guys, the day that the shayfa gadol is blows, that's the day that bilas hamavis netzach, that he's out of a job. Good, that's the correlation. The day that the shayfa gadol is blown, that's the day he's out of a job. Right? Katshama kal shipura zimna chada. When he hears it blown one time, but when he hears it blown one time the first time, so bol he's confused, but only a little bit. Because Shama Tanyan, when he hears it, says the Yerushalmi blown a second time. Ama Vaday Zer Shipura. That's the shayfa. The talk of a shayfa gadol. Umotas mani limspala. It's the time I'm out of a job. Umisarev Leslie Panay lemeva kategoria. And he's so busy worrying about his job being finished, he doesn't have time to chepa. So two totally different approaches. Rashi, when he sees that mitzvahs on mechavev, he sees that so dear to us, he won't go ahead and bother. Or, in other words, he won't bother Bnei Shalom because he won't have what to say. Well, like Taisvis, he's worried about his own skin, right? It's the shofar gadol is being blown. He's going to make it. That's why he blew it the second time. The first time he thinks, oh, it could be stamazai. Second time it's blown. It must be the big day. And people, some of us are netzach. I'm out of a job. So therefore, he's so worried about himself. He doesn't check. It's not makatre. Beautiful shot. Rabbi Yitzchak's kol shana shein toikin lo b'tchilasa. If you don't blow at the beginning of the year, my real lo b'seifa, it's going to be there in the end. My time at lo yav sudden because the sudden was not what was. Rabbi Yitzchak kol shana she rasha b'tchilasa. Any in the beginning when you make yourself poor, Rashi says you daven b'tachnunim like a poor man davens. In the end, you'll be wealthy. Shneimar Reishis Hashanah v'ad Achros Hashanah Reishis Hashanah Ksiv v'ad Achros. Now Reishis is written Sefer Sheish Lem Achros. It's a Reishis is written without a aleph. With rushes, you can read it when you're poor. But Achros to the end of the year. Person's judged according to Ma'asav of that time. Shneimar. Okay, you get judged at the time. So there's a very, very famous question over here. What about the Ben Sora Umara, right? Like we say by Yishmael. Well, let's do it. We'll do it. I'll read you some stuff. Okay, so now I said listen to Kol Anar Asher Sham. Rashi brings the whole Maisa in Yeshaya. What happens? We go out. They brought us meat that was salty and fish that was salty. The Arabs. We ate the fish. And then we wanted a drink. They gave us bags full of air, and it blew it up. It killed Jews. So the Malachim came with a taina, and he was dying Yishmael in the midbar, right? Last week's parsha when he was dying in the midbar, came with a taina. This is the guy you're going to save. So they asked him, "What is he now? It's tzaddik or Rashi?" This is tzaddik. So he's a shehu sham. You have to judge him exactly what he is now. So that's what it says over here. It says, "Kisham elokim el kol anar b'asher sham." Okay, so let me see what I have over here. One of the famous terutzim is that the Shmuel hadn't exhibited rishus yet. According to Rashi, it says mitzachek. He did some pretty bad things, but according to Rashi, he was over the big three. Big three. According to Rashi, he was over the big three. According to other ones, he just laughed. He was laughing at the party. According to that, so at least according to that. He was laughing at the party, so he really hadn't done that very much. The Ben Soru Morer, he already has exhibited detrimental behavior. He's already shown that he has a desire for wine and meat. So therefore, there's something that you have to worry about.
Never existed.
No, but the Gemara says that we judge him al Shem Sofo. That's not to do with reality. The Gemara Sanhedrin Ayin Beis says we judge him al Shem Sofo. So it's a steer. Here we're judging Asher Sham. There we're judging him what he's going to be. So how do you reconcile that too? The Gurarye, the Maharal says the Gemara is speaking about the best in Shal Mailo. And it was like the Malachim wanted to say, so what is he now? So in Shemayim, Einim Donim Elafi Maisav Shalois Shah. Business Shal Mata Donim Es Adam Af Al Shem Sofo. In other words, that we say Asher Sham, that's only best in Shal Mailo. That's sort of at Malachim. They said he asked them in Shemayim, what's his dinness? Hashem and Sarah Mora is going to be judged in this world. In this world, we will judge Al Shem Sofo. So that's the Maharal. So that would answer the question. Weiter. These are things that you recognize the avonis of a person. In other words, a person puts himself in a situation, perhaps, guys, for a judgment. He's maskir that this person in this situation is not doing the right thing. For example, Kir Natoi, he walks under a wall that's inclining, right? So he's putting himself in a position that the wall might fall on him, like he has such confidence. The Iyon Tefillah, right? Iyon Tefillah, looking into Tefillah, exactly what that is, I'm not exactly sure. But what's wrong? Iyon Tefillah, Rashi says, Samech Tefillah, Shetei Nishmas, U'Misametz L'Chav Liba. You know, he's so samech on his Tefillah that he's going to be saved. U'Moiseh Din Al Chaveiro, he gives over what? You know, he's so confident in himself that Hashem should judge between me and you. The Amar Rav, the Amar Rabbi, what do you have? Rav Al, the Amar Rav Chanan, Amar Rav Chanan, Kol HaMoiseh Din Al Chaveiro, Hu Nenash Tchila. He'll be first. Shenemar, it says when Sarah when Hagar was going ahead, and Hagar became a little haughty, so she said to Avram, my chamas is upon you. You're holding back dibur, right? You should have, you're robbing me by not yelling at her. Avram lispay the soul of Kaisa. So Sarah said, right at the end of the passage said, Yishpar Hashem ben Yirbenecha, let Hashem judge between me and you, who's doing the right thing. And she died first. So you see that what? Don't put yourself in that position. From a Yitzchak, Gimel Devarim Mekharim G'sadin Shaladam. But this is a positive. 4 things that causes a person's G'sadin to be ripped up. Elohein Tzedakah, Tzedakah, Shini Hashem, Shini Maisa. Tzedakah, Tzedakah, crying out, Shini Hashem, changing a name, the Shini Maisa. Tzedakah, Dichsiv, it's Tzedakah Tatzim Limavis. Go to any Levaya and you'll have some guy going ahead telling Tzedakah Tatzim Limavis. Tzedakah, Dichsiv, Yitzaku El Hashem, Batzal Lehem, Miksayim, Miksayim Yaitzim. To Hashem, and from their oppression, they were what? From the oppression, they were let go from their oppression. Shini Hashem Dichsiv, Sorry Ishtachale Sikra, Sorry Shma. And when Sarai would not have children, but Sarai did have children. The end of Parshas Lech Lecha. Shine Ma'aser D'Chsiv, Vayar Elokim by Ninveh, by of Yonafim, Vayar Elokim es Masayim L'Chsiv, Vayinachem Elokim Al Ra. So you see that what that Shine Ma'aser, changing your deeds can change, right? That's it.
But there's a 4th one.
Now he brings a 4th one. Even Shini Makom D'Chsiv, Vayom Hashem Al Avram. So it's mashma, since he left Aram, he left Haran, and the things changed for him. The Idach, and the first one said all 4 and did not can Shini Makom. Who's there to Israel? That he was Eskal Gadol wasn't that he went from the place they went to, but that he came from, but the place that he went to, there to Israel. This the Hanula that helped him. It's a mitzvah to Makabel Pnei Rabbi Beregel. To go ahead and it comes Yontif, everyone should go meet their Rebbe. Shnemar, do as Alachta love Hayoim, like Chodesh LeShabbos. It's about Isha Shunamis, and she said she had to go, and the husband said, "Why you go?" Elisha was the Rebbe, so why are you going? It's not Chodesh or Shabbos, so you see that was, and the Chodesh Shabbos over here means that what? Chodesh or Shabbos, meaning it means the Regel is the boy Leila Meisli. Go greet your Rebbe on the Regel, and it's put on the Lacha. This is interesting. It's a person's chayiv to mitar himself in the regal. Now the question is this only bisman based on mikdash? Bisman Azed is a person have to go to the mikvah before the regal. Some say it's only bisman based on mikdash chayim. Some say that it's the Rambam says the Raisa, the Ramban says the Rabbanan, but it's a mitzvah to go ahead and to be mitar yourself. Shnemar ubin v'lasam lo'isigu. Now, guys, if you touch an avela, you are in avera. But it says Ubin Vlasam, you shouldn't touch an avela. So it must mean that it's not coming to teach me what? That you can't touch an avela, that right? So Tainam Yahachi Ubin Vlasam Sigu, Yachla Yisrael Muzharim al Mega Nevela. I might think Yisrael are warned about what? About touching an avela, meaning you'll be over an Issa Alav if you touch an avela, you might think so. Talmud Lamed, the pasuk says, Emer al Kohanim b'nei Aaron, say to the Kohanim b'nei Aaron musharim b'nei Yisrael, musharim, right? That b'nei Yisrael, b'nei Aaron are musar and b'nei Yisrael are not, right? Ba'loi dvarim kal v'chaymer. Umat tumah chamura such as tumas mace. Kohanim musharim, Yisrael einu musharim, tumas kala. This is tumas nevela. Now tumas nevela is not kala, but it's kala vis-a-vis mace, right? It's mitama mago masa, not mitama boil. Like kol shekain, so therefore, obviously, guys, ma'adachle in tumis mace, which is mochama. Bnei Yisrael is not musar. Certainly, b'nei v'lasam sigu by nevela they're not musar. So it can't be going on what stamas like a yid nevela. Elamatam aloim b'nei v'lasam sigu beregel. Must be speaking about a special din by the regel. Okay, the next piece is it's a lot, and I don't want to go ahead and rush it. So Bez Hashem tomorrow. Thank you very much for this turnout. It's very meaningful. It's nice to see so many people on Zoom.
Thank you.
Have a very. It's good to see you.
Thank you for coming.
My.
My